All right, so it falls on me to introduce the newly crowned greatest song of all time. We have Respect by Aretha Franklin from April of 1967.
Per Rolling Stone, greatest of all time per Rolling Stone. We're doing something different here, friend. I mean,
I mean,
look,
but it is good. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
yeah. I mean, it is good. Aretha Franklin. Let's put on the table here. One of the absolute greatest of all time. Born in '42 in Memphis, her family moved a few times, settling in Detroit, where Franklin sang in church. And her mom died when she was 10. Her father was a really well-known firebrand minister. He had a lot of good friends: Martin Luther King Jr., Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson. Franklin got in the business as a gospel singer. Her dad managed her. And then she got into soul, wanting to be Sam Cooke. So she signed with Columbia Records, started scoring some R&B hits, but doing a lot of different stuff. They didn't quite have a good template for what she was supposed to be doing. And so when her contract was up in '66, she decided to go to Jerry Wexler, who was with Atlantic Records. We talked about him a while back. And Wexler kind of knew what could make Aretha a big star, and it was going back to her gospel roots. So in January '67, Wexler has her go to Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. We talked about Muscle Shoals and Fame Studios in our last episode. And she does the song I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, which was to be the title track of her '67 album, I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You. And it's a great session. It's a great song, but things end poorly because there's a fight at Fame Studios. And so they leave there right after recording that song and they go back to New York. But Aretha brings the Muscle Shoals band back with her, the rhythm section, and they play a prominent role in making this sound cook and making this song sound as just live and awesome as it really is.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one that it's hard to talk about. I mean, like, what do we say to people? Yeah, you should probably listen to Respect by Aretha Franklin, right? I mean, it's good. She's a good singer. I mean, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
good
it's
song.
just hard to do. Like, what I love about it, I think the most is the energy that they're able to capture on this recording, where it almost feels like you're eavesdropping on a live performance. Because it just like the backing vocals, it's like everything is just sort of a little bit, there's syncopation, the backing vocals sort of kick in at odd times. It doesn't feel like it's this sort of perfect craft product. It feels like people are in the studio having fun and you're just sort of dropping in and saying, oh, let me check this out. And it works so well. And there's so much energy to it. And that part of it, to me, it's like just the way they were able to capture her vocals in this way. It's a great recording.
I love the sax solo by King Curtis that doesn't get talked about, I think, as often when it comes to this one. What does get talked about quite a bit is sort of the swapping of the gender roles from the original. The original, of course, was written by Otis Redding, who, although he could have been written by a guy named Speedo Sims, but Redding seems to take the credit for it. But he recorded it in Muscle Shoals, and he did it with Steve Cropper. And it's definitely got that sort of Staxy sound, that pre-real Muscle Shoals sound that's a little bit more Staxy. And that one's about how a man is working hard and he comes home and he just wants some respect from his lady. Well, Aretha turns that around, flips it, and makes it a song about a woman demanding respect from her man and any other man who comes across her path. And she's the perfect vocalist for that. There is not 1 inch of fear or, there's not 1 inch of coyness in her voice. She's all business. She's all power. And then the background vocals are great too, because she's got her sisters on there. They make the sound so strong and they make it sound like there's real heft behind the message here. It's not just a guy who wants to get respect from his lady.
And unlike Otis, Aretha spells out that Respect. And that is obviously something that people talk about forever about this song. And it's funny when you look it up, sometimes you will see it actually spelled out that way as opposed to just written out like respect. And that is taking this Otis original and making it something completely her own. And it's just great.